It's pretty clear that Daniel himself understood that it was the saints of the Most High that get the kingdom and the interpretation. To now insert the vision or your own interpretation to the vision would be your own personal interpretation.
This talk of beasts and then war with the saints and kingdoms. Let's actually get in here and see what this vision is cooking. Thrones are put in place. The Ancient of Days sat. So God's there now. His appearance is very powerful. Welcome back to the channel, and this is truly an interesting topic. I found this video by this guy called Torah Logic. Christians are lying. Daniel 7 verses 13 to 14 is not about Jesus. So let's get after it. I mean, if Christians are lying about this, we gotta definitely talk about it. Now, granted, I am a Christian, and I don't think Christians are lying about this. And I have my verses on the screen. We're gonna break down Daniel 7, I think mostly in its entirety, briefly, because I don't want to take too much time. But we're gonna break it down. We're gonna look at the Hebrew a little bit to see how certain verses are looked at and translated, and see what the essence of certain things are. But let's hear him out. We'll see what he's got to say.
Shalom, shalom. All praises be to the Most High Yah. Hashtag Team Torah Logic. And we're coming at you with a video talking about Daniel chapter 7, verse 13. This will be a quick, easy breakdown to really understand what's going on in this chapter. You must understand that you're dealing with a vision and an interpretation. Amen. Most Christians will go to this chapter to try to insert JC into verse 13 and 14. The problem with this is Daniel, after verse 13 and 14, he gives an interpretation of his vision. So we're going to check it out. We're going to go ahead and read through it. We're going to see what's going on within this chapter, right? I'm in Daniel 7:13. I'm in the JPS Tanakh. It says, "And I saw in the night visions, there came with the clouds of heaven one like unto the Son of Man." Let's point something out real quick. Daniel says this is one like unto the Son of Man. He does not say this is the Son of Man. Most Christians will try to say it is the Son of Man, then jump to the Christian Testament and say that that's JC when he claims to be the Son of Man. Still in verse 13. "And he came even to the Ancient of Days, and there was brought near before him, and there was given him."
Well, while he's reading out scriptures, forgive me for that. I do think it's very interesting that that term "Son of Man," quote unquote, is only used a handful of times in the Old Testament, the Torah and the Tanakh, respectively, and in the specific way it's used here, definitely Jesus is invoking some sort of akin to the Son of Man. But let's see what else he gets in here. Let's get it.
"Dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all the peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. As for me, Daniel, my spirit was pained in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head affrighted me. And I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth concerning all of this." So what's going on in Daniel chapter 7 is Daniel is receiving a vision, a dream. How do you know? Let's go to 7 and 1, and we'll go right back to verse 15 is what we was reading. "In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed." This is all a dream. Daniel is dreaming. Verse 15, let's go back. "He wakes up from the dream, and he comes to somebody that's standing near to tell him the truth concerning all of this." That means what? He did not know the truth concerning all of this. So this is what the man tells him. "These great beasts, which are four kings that shall arise out of the earth." Verse 18, "But the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." When you go, or back to the vision, in verse 13, it literally tells you who gets the kingdom and who's given the kingdom. And that's the one like unto the Son of Man. When you go to the interpretation, it tells you that it's the saints of the Most High that get the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. It's pretty clear here in verse 18, the person who's interpreting it, which is Daniel, who's the one writing this down, it's pretty clear that Daniel himself understood that it was the saints of the Most High that get the kingdom and the interpretation. To now insert the vision or your own interpretation to the vision would be your own personal interpretation. He gives you 3 breakdowns, and he tells you each time that it's the saints of the Most High who get the kingdom. He does not say in the interpretation that it's something like an anointed king, or he doesn't say any of that. He says that it's the saints of the Most High. So all you have to do, if you're debating a Christian, or you just stick with the interpretation, they're always going to try to hold you to the vision. You don't need to go to the vision, because Daniel himself doesn't even understand what he just saw. That's why he goes and asks the man the truth of all of this. He has no idea what he just looked at. That's why it's important to read these chapters in context and to truly understand it. Verse 21, and he came near and made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given for the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Every time you're hearing about this great kingdom, it's always now going to say in the interpretation that it's the saints of the Most High who get it. If you want to go up to verse 27, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Their kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. So who was given the kingdom in the vision? The one likened unto the Son of Man. Who was given the kingdom in the interpretation of the vision? It would be the saints. If you go to verse 28, it's a few words in the first verse. It says, here is the end of the matter. There's no more interpretation after that. Daniel says that that's the end of it. So Daniel got the interpretation. He tells you 3 times it's the saints. He tells you that's the end of the matter. There's no need to run back to his vision in 2025, 1995, 1005, whatever year you're living in, and try to reinterpret his vision, because he didn't add that to his vision. He didn't say that that was the king of Israel. You're inserting that because you have a Christian character that you need to try to substantiate. He did not say that. So don't go back and try to insert your character here. But with that, I'm going to close out. Shalom. All praises be to the Most High, of course. And this is just a quick, easy breakdown for Daniel chapter 7.
All right, so case closed, right? And it's about the saints. Well, I think I'll be honest. I think he did well. But I did peep in the video. If you guys noticed, it was the new international version that he utilized. Well, that he put on screen as far as verses 13 and 14. But let's actually give the chapter a brief breakdown, because this talk of beasts and then war with the saints and kingdoms, let's actually get in here and see what this vision is cooking, because the vision doesn't start at verses 13 and 14. It starts up here. And so, like he said, in the first year of Bazar, the king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream in the visions of his head while he was in bed, right? And so here's what he saw in the vision. 4 winds of heaven were stirring up in the great sea. 4 beasts, first like a lion, had eagle wings. Let's see. I watched till its wings were plucked off. He was lifted from the earth, made to stand as 2 feet like a man, and a man's heart. So this is a very strange, like, beast character. Suddenly another beast, so a second one. A bear this time. It, like, verse 5 talks about how it raised up on side. It had 3 ribs in its mouth, between its teeth. Very bloody thing. And said unto it, arise and devour much. They said unto it, arise, devour much flesh. So whoever this they is. Verse 6. Let's see. Another beast comes out of nowhere. A leopard, which has 4 wings like a bird. 4 heads, and had dominion. Let's see. And after that, another beast. So verse 7 talks about the 4th beast, were dreadful, terrible, very strong, iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking to pieces, right? Basically, very destructive character right here. Specifically different because it had 10 horns. Verse 8. Daniel's considering the horns. He's like, what is this? Like, what does this mean, right? In the dream. Before whom 3 horns plucked off, 1 horn, eyes like a man, specifically speaking very pompous words, very arrogant. Then the vision kind of transitions into let's see, thrones are put in place. The Ancient of Days sat, so God's there now. His appearance is very powerful. Hair white as wool, so this is our first reference to that. Head hair white as snow, pure as wool. Throne very magnificent, right? Fiery flame, wheels of fire. Let's see, a fiery stream came forth from him, and thousands minister 10 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The courts were seated and the books were open. So remember verse 10. Thousands individuals are seated before the Most High, who has a very particular appearance about him. Then verse 11. Let's see. I watch then the sound of so this one horn that's making pompous words is speaking. He's very arrogant, right? This horn that survived the other three getting plucked away. Let's see. But the beast don't like that the horns on top of it's slain by destroyed, given to a burning flame. So this like one of the beasts dies now. As for the rest, the dominion was taken away. Some sort of weakening happened to the other beasts when to the other three beasts when the fourth beast was just unfortunately destroyed. Then we get into this very peculiar part of the vision, right? Where it's like there's one like the Son of Man coming into the clouds of heaven. He came before the Ancients of Days. So this particular individual is now standing before God Almighty, and this isn't the people described in verse 10. This is important to distinguish him from them because obviously there's a lot of people here serving, but there's a particular one that stands and is able to appear before the Ancient of Days. Let's see. They brought him near before him. So they seemingly these 10,000s, but take note of that. They brought him before him. Whoever this they is mysteriously are agents or associated with this figure, and they are bringing him the son of this like a son of man before God Almighty. Verse 14. Then to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. So this again, distinguishing this individual from other people. Multiple people are mentioned. This they brought him to the Ancient of Days, and him standing above all the peoples, nations, and languages that quote unquote serve him. They bow before him. They are ministering to him. They are of his service, and he is enthroned above them. This is important to distinguish. Let's see. His dominion is everlasting dominion, meaning forever reigning. It's not going to go away. Just like the verse says, it's not going to go away. And his kingdom, it's characterized by being essentially immortal and invincible. It cannot be destroyed. This is the complete vision. Beasts are going to war with one another. There's some conflict at the head of these beasts. Who's reigning authority? There's some conflict between horns. Then this Son of Man, or God is there. Thousands are worshiping God. This Son of Man appears after the fourth beast is unfortunately destroyed, or fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how this vision is translated. And then he's given dominion. This like unto a Son of Man, that all other people shall serve him. This is the complete vision. And so now we get the interpretation. Daniel's grieved in his spirit. He's troubled over this. He doesn't know what this means. That is true. Verse 16, I came near to one of those who stood by and asked him, what's going on? What's the truth? What's the interpretation? And so here's what that person said. And like he said with verses 18, starting at verse 17, those four beasts, which are four kings, which arise out of the earth. So kings are representative of nations, authorities over people. These are four authorities, dominions. Let's see, verse 8. But the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever. So right off the bat, now we're going back to verse 9 here in verse 10. So there's the Most High, and there's the saints. This is now being translated as these individuals, these thousands. The seats are court, like the court is seated, the books are opened. These people are now worshiping Yahweh fully. And so now we get into verse 19. Then I wish to know the truth about the fourth beast, which was different from the others, seemingly dreadful. But it is a terrible beast, right? like, and it gives the characteristics and so on and so on. Let's see. 10 horns on his head. You know, he's reiterating parts of the vision. What is this fourth beast? Because he's already identified verses 2 to 9, 2 to 10. The characterized the beasts. They're identified as kings and authorities. The like verses 9 to 10, saints of the Most High. This is important to distinguish because we haven't even got to the part like the interpretation of what this Son of Man is. So then we get into verse 21. I was watching, and same horn was making war against the saints and prevailed against them. So in other words, this conflict with this fourth beast is now being described until the Ancient of Days came and a judgment was made in favor of the saints of the Most High, and the time came for the saints to possess the kingdom. So essentially, this is the destruction of that fourth beast, if I'm not mistaken. Or actually, no. I think he's actually still reiterating the vision. My bad. I may have been ahead of myself. So, verse 23. This is the interpretation. The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom on the earth, which shall be different from the other kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, trample it and break it to pieces. So this is a dreadful kingdom. It's certainly taking territory. 10 horns like 10 kings. So the heads of this nation, this authority. Let's see. They shall have conflict. Well, real quick now. We shall arise his kingdom, and there shall rise after them. Let's see. He shall be different from the. Okay, so yeah, this is the conflict between the horns, real quick, in verses 24 and verses 25. He shall speak presumptuous words against the Most High and persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change the law and time. And the saints shall be given into his hand for a time and times and a half. So this is leading up to the destruction of that fourth beast. Verse 26. But the court shall be seated, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it forever. So this is essentially the destruction of that fourth beast. I got ahead of myself earlier. Then the kingdom and dominion, the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of the Most High. And get this. This kingdom, his kingdom, is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. And so verse 27 makes it very clear that the saints are mentioned. And again, this individual, this mysterious figure in verses 13 and 14 is identified as having a kingdom unto which, because notice this kingdom is given to the saints, but it's not necessarily theirs inherently. Meaning they're not ruling here. They never claim to be ruling in this chapter. And so bring it back to who this mysterious figure is, who has this kingdom that's again for the saints. All dominions shall serve and obey this individual. This individual is still named. And before we get to verse 28 about the end of this, like, you notice that a lot of translations will has his kingdom, right? Like, let's see, even the international version. Then the sovereignty, power, and greatness of all the kingdoms under the earth shall be handed over to the holy people of the Most High. His kingdom will be everlasting dominion, and all rulers will worship and obey him. Right? His kingdom. This individual who, again, is brought up into the Ancient of Days by this mysterious they, right? He's distinguished from the saints. Like, even in this verse, the saints shall be given a kingdom. This kingdom that is identified, whose kingdom specifically? So some translations have it as the saints of the Most High, but granted, I mean, again, read between the lines. His kingdom, Most High, Jesus being uniquely Yahweh, like just as this individual is identified with Yahweh in verses 13 to 14. Hope I don't have the verses clipped off, but you see Estronom, just all of these verses again speak of this specific kingdom that's given to the saints, but it's already operating. Kingdoms are not kingdoms without kings, and therefore this individual is identified as a king, but he's not what his name is, who he is. He's like a son of man, but he's not the Ancient of Days, and even in the interpretation of verse 27, it makes it very clear. Let's see, just to make it clear. And the kingdom, dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people. They're identified as the saints of the Most High. His kingdom, this individual, this I feel like I'm gonna butcher the Hebrew, so forgive me. Malkuteh, his kingdom, specifically kingdoms, be everlasting, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. And so now we get to the last portion of verse 28. This is the end of the account. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts greatly troubled me, and my countenance changed, but I kept the matter in my heart. So in other words, Daniel's making it clear this isn't the end of the matter, meaning the only interpretation. Verse 28 makes it very clear that Daniel doesn't want to hear of this anymore. It's troubling to him, so he's going to keep this to himself. He doesn't want to know any more about this because this is troubling information. Well, for obvious reasons. Conflict here, but most importantly, who is this one like the Son of Man with coming upon the clouds of heaven? Which, again, is a language exclusively used by Jesus Christ. Put the verses on the screen. And so I think Torah logic definitely fumbled here by not going into the entirety of the chapter and the visions and breaking it down, because again, you still have to be left with multiple questions. Firstly, who is this person who is like this, who is like the Ancient of Days, like the Almighty, that is coming upon the clouds of heaven? How are the saints bringing him before Yahweh? Because again, he's not Yahweh, he's not the Ancient of Days, but he's near to the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days gives him dominion, gives him glory and a kingdom that all individuals and languages should serve him. And even then, going through the entirety of the interpretation, you still end up with the kingdom, dominion, and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of the Most High. His kingdom, specifically this kingdom that's given to them, that is still identified and uniquely with this individual, this reigning authority, because every kingdom has an authority, right? Every kingdom has a king. This king's authority is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So again, this individual will be obeyed, and the saints of the Most High are very friendly with this individual because they are well in a part of this everlasting kingdom. It's a beautiful thing for them. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think he butchered Daniel 7, or do you think that I butchered Daniel 7? Who has the stronger interpretation? I don't know. I'll say this much. I think that the clear text is very, very simple, very straightforward. No matter the interpretation of the beasts and everything, and the horns and all, and the conflict there and the saints, you see them mapped out perfectly if you read the entirety of the vision down to even verses 15, and you see it perfectly mapped out piece by piece. Saints, dominions, beasts, horns, everything is identified and perfectly put in their place, even this mysterious figure who has this everlasting kingdom. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And Torah logic, if you ever see this video, I don't know, let's talk about it. I mean, I'm not a scholar. I'm just a layman Christian, but I do love to defend the text and the interpretation that leads to the truth, the King of Kings. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and see you guys in the next one. I feel like this was a bit longer than I was kind of hoping it will be, but you kind of have to break it down. So that's as quick as I can technically make it. So with that being said, take care, you guys, and see you guys in the next one. God bless and stay blessed.